repented for crushing my as I've repented from squashing my right brain activity and really engaged it on purpose, not just because I love art so much, but I have found that it's really helped my cognitive ability. I'm going to be 70 on my birthday. And, I have a lot of friends that are very concerned about not, losing their sharpness. My mother's 91 and she does Jeopardy every day. We want to keep our brains sharp. It's not just left brain activity we encourage, it's right brain as well. They work together and creating new neural pathways. I'd love to tell you a little story about one of my students about the healing power of art, if I may. He was a young 17, almost 18-year-old student who won a great big art show in our low country. It was all the best students from all the schools competed at their age. He won that, and then he competed against everybody and won best in show. And a piece he did in my studio. He's been a student for mine. He had learning disabilities, but he was thriving in the arts, which gave him confidence. The kind of success that would help him with achieving other things. Then he had a brain infection that caused a traumatic brain injury. And as a result, he was paralyzed on the right side of his body. Matter of fact, they didn't even think he was going to live. And his mother, when he got out of the hospital after 4 months, brought him back to my studio. And we thought, well, what can he do with his left hand? Let's see, try to find some success in his life. He was still so young. Well, it wasn't very long that it was evident that he was thriving using his left hand. His neurosurgeon called me and said, I've never called somebody's art teacher before. And he said, what are you doing? Don't stop. He's not only thriving with his left hand, but he's also gaining functionality on his right side. And I can say that now he walks, he talks, he has some the free cortex, some function. So if you say, what's your name? He has to think a minute to say David, but he's very clear in his speech. They're still working to gain strength with his right hand, but he's walking and talking, and he's really a miracle. And so I know that art came in his life on purpose, but those neural pathways he had already been developing as a young artist were still working for him. So that was really, really exciting for me as his art teacher to see it working that way. And I've had many students that have other issues, physically or mentally or emotionally, and they can still thrive in the arts and get a success that makes them feel better and feel good about themselves. So it's an important part of who we are as human beings that machines will never take away, that we can enjoy a beautiful sunset like you've got behind you on your screen, that the beauty and the colors in the sky, and how great our creator God that made us placed his creative spirit inside of us. So we have that gift and that ability, and we need to encourage more and more right brain activity. And that's what I do. I take people who are frustrated, stuck, feeling irrelevant, like, am I going to keep up with this whole computer generation and AI invasion? Am I going to lose my job? What's going to happen in my life? And I take them and I just work 15 minutes a day just to help keep them. I train and teach and guide and give accountability, that they can start feeling that wonderful, not only see some skills improve, but also feel better, have that sense of accomplishment that is about not just the product, but the process. Just like, why are you coloring? When you color, it's there's beauty in laying those colors and following the design and seeing, the whole picture come forth when you finish coloring it. There's a joy. It's how we're wired. We love it. We can't neglect it anymore.
Yes, I agree. It surrounds us. It surrounds us everywhere we go. If you're just walking in the birds, you looking in the sky. When you get dressed in the morning, you're color coordinating, you're dressing how you feel. So I agree with you 100%. It's just we're not as knowledgeable about it as we should be. So I agree with you. And art teachers, we've all been doing art since kindergarten, as you stated earlier. So it's engraved in us for a reason, right?
It is, and music and dance and acting and singing, these are a part of us, you know. I didn't wasn't given the gift of singing at all, but or playing instruments, but my family, I have three musician sons, and a writer daughter, and I've done some writing. I've written the textbooks I use in my college art classes. So you know, we and you know, and I'm this just happened the last couple of years, so it's never too late. I want to say that. I don't know, you know, you young people are thinking, oh, I've gone this way. It's not too late. You don't love what you're doing. You don't love what you're doing in your life. Find a way to determine what brings you joy. What is it that is your purpose, and you're going to find your destiny with what you love to do. And that's really, really important for the younger generation and even for us old folks. You know, we've raised our families. Sometimes we're at the, you know, built a career, sometimes very successful careers. And we're winding down. We're not ready to retire, but we just want to keep ourselves engaged. And the arts and are all wonderful, wonderful ways to keep ourselves active and engaged in our culture and with our own sense of destiny. You know, what is our legacy? What are we leaving behind? I know you're too young to think about that yet, but I have grandchildren. I'm very concerned about my legacy to these beautiful little ones that I
No,
adore.
I'm young, but I do think about my legacy, and just because nowadays there's no there's no time frame of when I may leave this earth, right? So when I do
True.
leave, what does that look like? Will I be that person people have good things to say about, or will I be that person where there's nothing positive to really say? So that's where I strive from. Just a place of giving, a place of positivity, and I'm really big on energy. So making sure my energy is good as well. Because when I do leave this earth, I would love to leave behind positive energy, positive thoughts. No one wants to be that person where people don't have anything good to say when you leave the earth, you know, or you have probably 10 people at your funeral. No one wants to say any good words because they don't have anything to say.
Yeah,
So I do think about legacy, what that looks like when I'm no longer here.
that's good.
And like you said, I wish more people thought that way, or thought about what it actually looks like when they leave the earth, and
Yeah.
not just live for today. I know people always have that saying, let's just live for today. Yes, you live for today, but be mindful of the people you're leaving behind and your legacy. Um,
That's
I don't think a lot of people think, like you said earlier, think that far ahead. But it would be great to think that way. And it would be motivation, I think, as well, to think that way.
you know, I think too is as we have had a pursuit in our culture to, you know, get a good education, get a good job, you know, work hard, raise your family, you know, doing responsible things, you know, sometimes we can leave our own hearts behind, and we haven't really connected with what is it that I always wanted to do. And I'm just saying, I'm here to say it's not too late, and you're not too old, or you're not too young to think in terms of my own personal purpose, you know, something unique. Like you said, God made us all different. I love that. We don't have any fingerprints the same. We, you know, even our ears are different. So he went to a lot of trouble to make us different. Why would we want to be like everybody else, you know? And what would our generation found out is just getting a good job didn't or good education didn't guarantee a good job anymore. There's more to it. And you know, that's also part of my passion is this issue of relevance and being still a contributor of your unique you. And that's the thing, there's never too many musicians, there's never too many dancers, never too many artists, because what you bring is you. And that's what makes your work and everything you're doing unique. Sometimes we feel like we're in a, you know, cookie cutter world if we're sitting in cubicles or we're sitting in environment. We all saw what happened when the world got shut down and we got to the internet. I did too, learned how to teach art online. You know, we had to learn new tricks, so to speak, even us old dogs. So we had to, you know, keep being relevant. And I know that art and music and dance and singing and all of these incredible things that are human, are part of our culture, our very nature, is not going away. And
Oh,
AI is not going to replace it. I don't care what Leonardo does with the AI, but it's got a place. And I have to admit, I've used Chat GPT to do some marketing, and I love it. I think it's so cool. I got ideas. I'm doing a workshop in London in December, and I came up with some words for how to put it together, crafting vision. So, that was directly from Chat GPT. I'm like, oh, I like that, because we're going to be doing some teaching and some hands-on. We're going to have it, like I said, in London, but also going to do it streaming on live. So we'll have people be able to engage online with us as well. So, these are fun things our culture has now. We're never going to let go of the creative that we are. So I just encourage you and all your listeners to continue and think about what brings you joy. Is it music? Is it dance? Is it arts? I'm here to be a resource. I would love to. KarenDeloachArt.com is my www.karendeloachart.com is my website. KarenDeloachArt@gmail.com is my email. Contact me. I'd love to connect and just see if there's anything I can do to encourage and help anybody in your listener audience.
yes. So once again, you guys heard it from her herself. Please contact her if you want more information. You want to talk about art a bit more, what it means to use your right side of the brain more often. She she had us a lot of resource, and you guys heard her break it down for you. So I would say she's a good resource to reach out to. It doesn't hurt to ask questions to get more knowledge, to see if you two can connect, if she's a good fit with you all. Reach out if there's something you're interested in. So once again, how can they contact you?
Yeah, thank you. I work with all ages and all skill levels, and it's really not just about learning to draw and learning to paint. I'm an expert at that. It's really finding out what each individual wants to do, what their goal is, and what their purpose is. But I'm Karen Deloach. KarenDeloachArt.com is my website, and my email is KarenDeloachArt@gmail. So we've got a little try to be consistent there. So I would love to talk to anybody. It's my passion, and I'd love to see what you want to do with it.
All right.
Call me,
Well,
call me, call me. I
Karen,
also have a
thank
free resource on my website, called Art as Self Therapy, 5 steps to healing your soul. So I would love to share that resource, www.karendeloachart.com. Just download that free booklet and get some ideas on how you can start engaging more with your right brain.
oh, I think I'll look at that myself.
All right. I'd love to have you do that. KarenDeloachArt.com. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for coming today. Is there anything else you would like to share before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think so. I'd love to share what I've learned and find out what you want to do with it. So please contact me.
All right.
Blessings.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Blessings.